All right, guys, Ben Graham again, your local trusted real estate agent, talking and continuing the talk about buying rental real estate, income property, your first rental, whatever it may be. I am here for you. So if you haven't watched our other two videos, make sure to check those out. The first one being about the why buy rental property, income, deductions, equity, appreciation, leverage, that kind of thing. And then the second video was about the who, the where, the what of buying rental real estate, establishing your team, figuring out what your goals are and where you want to buy. So the next video that I want to talk with you about is the how, the brass tacks or brass tactics. Which one is it? I don't know. Anyhow, the how to buy it. Again, I want to be your guide. I've done this personally before. I've done this for clients before to help guide you through from not ever doing it to making it go smoothly and effectively. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation about your goals, your timing, what you're looking for, that kind of stuff. So assuming we've done that, next we'll have to secure your financing, get you plugged into a great lender that you can work with unless you're paying cash, which is cool too. And then wish out for properties, stuff that makes sense on your wish list as far as an investment property. And by this time, we'll be going through the pros and cons of your goals of, a single family home that's newer versus a single family home that's older versus a condo, one with a pool, one that's, needs more fixing up, one that's turnkey, those kind of things. We'll talk through that both online, and then we'll of course go out and see stuff in person. And if you're, I've got a lot of investors that are buying with me that are out of state, they're California or, Seattle, Chicago, that are buying properties here. And we're just doing it all through, FaceTime. I go through the properties and there's enough information online that, it's a numbers thing. They don't necessarily have to physically be in the home because they're not living there. It's a math equation. It's a business. So, this works great too. And we'll get an inspector in there, that kind of stuff. So, speaking of that, say we secure a property, we do an inspection, right? And look for what could be wrong with it. That's another set of eyeballs on the property. Come up with, a list to negotiate through and work through, whether it's with the seller or after you take ownership, that you can, have a punch list. I've got a handyman, I've got an AC guy, I've got a carpet guy, a plumber, I've got all the people that you need when it comes time to getting that property rent ready. And then, I'm not an attorney, okay? I'm not a CPA. I've said that in a video before, but I personally have my rental properties in an LLC, and that LLC is owned by my trust. Okay, that's just how I set it up. So I advise that, but again, not a CPA, not an attorney. And then, most cities, at least here in Arizona, have what's called a T tax, transaction privilege tax. In Chandler, for instance, it's 1.5%. So you can either absorb that, or have your renter pay it. Either way, it's got to be paid, but we'll walk you through getting that set up. There's some tricks that I've learned along the way to make that easier, but we'll get into that later. And then of course, get utilities put on your name, especially while you're preparing the home for market, for rental market, that kind of thing. And then ultimately they'll transfer over to the renter once they move in. And then any repairs, junk removal, termites, weed treatment, whatever it may be, I'll help you get all that set up. We'll determine if upgrades are necessary or helpful. If you do wow factor with new appliances or new counters or something like that, could you charge more? Does that make sense? Or could it last longer? Like I just, or not just, I'm in the middle, almost done with the rehab I'm doing on a rental property. And I chose to put all new windows in the home. I mean, it was a smaller home, so it didn't cost a ton, to be honest with you. And I chose to do the tile throughout the whole thing just so that it would last longer. So I'm not having to replace the carpet all the time. So those are decisions that you'll have to make, spend more up front, save more in the end, or spend less up front, maybe spend more in the end, different goals for different folks. Okay. And then of course, cleaning the property and getting it ready for market. So I'm going to talk about that in another video as far as getting it ready for market and managing it. But hopefully this video, part 3, helped you understand a little bit more of the how to find the home and get it ready. So we'll see you on the next video.